Angela from SpinachTiger.com, cooking big fat healthy food. Well, today the big fat healthy food is a recipe from the America Test Kitchen. I have been looking for a gluten-free crusty bread for a long time, and I think this is a great recipe. So let's get started. And just to let you know, at the end of this video, I will have some video links to some other really great gluten-free baking, like my gluten-free biscuits, which is very popular. So you want to make sure you do go all the way to the end and see those. And then the ingredients for this recipe will be listed at the end of this video. And there will be a link in the corner. You see the little eye, there is a link to the website. You might want to take time to go over to SpinachTiger.com because we have over or almost 1,000 recipes. That's kind of cool. So let's get started. First of all, when you're baking, and don't be intimidated by this, do invest in a kitchen scale because you want to weigh your flour. And I always tell people why, because when you measure it in cups, you're gonna pack your flour in, that's what everybody does, and you're gonna end up with maybe a half a cup, even to a cup of flour that's not supposed to be in the recipe, and then the recipe doesn't work. So let me just show you really quickly how you weigh the flour and zero it out. So you just take an empty bowl, and I like to have a lot of these in all sizes because they're stackable and they're light, they don't break, and they're easy to use. So we're gonna place this right on the scale, and then I'm gonna hit zero, which means it's not gonna contribute the weight of the bowl itself. So I hit zero, and now it says zero, so whatever I put in is what it's actually gonna weigh, and I need 14 ounces of gluten-free flour, and I'm using today Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1. Like I said, I love that flour until I find something better. That's what I love to use. So we've got 14 ounces of the gluten-free flour, and that will go, let me take it up. Yikes. That's gonna go in, it's easier to do this, in the mixer. And some of the secrets to this bread: psyllium fiber powder, unsweetened, unflavored. Again, I'm using this brand because it works. It's a great brand. So that is the psyllium fiber. That goes in there. And then the next thing that you don't see typically in bread, golden flaxseed meal. You can find this at your regular grocery store. You can also order this online. So that's that. The yeast, we're going to put the yeast right in, and I just want to let you know, one of these packets is not enough. You need a full tablespoon, and this is not a full tablespoon, so make sure if you're using packets like I did, because you do want your rapid rise instant yeast, that you measure out a full tablespoon. That's something I discovered. So there goes the yeast. Now we're going to use some dry fat milk, baking soda. Another little unusual thing, but remember, when you're baking gluten-free, you have to do things a little bit differently. Salt, sugar, and don't skip the sugar. And the reason I'm saying that is sugar feeds the yeast, so that's kind of important. Now we're going to mix all of these dry ingredients together, and don't use a dough hook, use the paddle, because this is going to be kind of a wet dough. And we'll just mix this up on low, just to get all of that together. And in the meantime, I'm gonna take 2 eggs and put some warm water and then mix that up. I'll turn that back on while I'm doing this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna stream this in. I'm gonna use my nifty spatula to do this, make sure it's all down there. Now we're gonna beat this at a medium speed for 6 minutes, and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, so it's been about 6 minutes. This is what it looked like, kind of like very sticky cookie batter dough, but it comes out to end up being a kind of a nice dough already. So see that? And if you want to play with it a little bit, like and knead it, I floured this marble, but if you don't have marble, then maybe you might want to put it on a piece of parchment paper, something like that, or a roll pat is nice to have. So it's kind of fun to put your hands in dough. And now what I've done is prepare a cast iron Dutch oven that I'm going to bake it in, but you can bake it in a skillet, like a cast iron skillet to hold its shape, if you want to do that. I haven't tried this just on a cookie sheet yet, so I think holding its shape so that it doesn't spread out like that is going to be something important because of being gluten-free. Now, hopefully, if all goes right, this rises in about an hour and a half. What you want to do is take like a nice towel and set it already in your pan, or put a loose plastic wrap over it, works well too. Now look at this beautiful dough ball. I'm kind of proud of it. Now it's a little dense and it's a little heavy, so we're gonna let this rise for an hour and a half, 2 hours. You could even go longer. We're gonna slit some slits in it. You can do that any way you want. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. And now I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna cover this like this. I don't want it touching really. This is floured on this side. And then in a couple of hours, we'll be ready to put it into the oven. Okay, it's been about 2 hours and I just wanted to come back and show you. I think it's risen rather nicely. We're going to, we turned the oven on to 400 degrees. Once I put it in the oven, we're gonna turn the oven down to 350, and that's gonna cook for about 90 minutes, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. We baked this baby for an hour and a half. That might seem like a long time, but it didn't burn, and it's got that nice, nice crust, and that's what I was looking for, because remember, this is gluten-free. So what I'm gonna do is just cut off a little piece to show you what the inside looks like. You're supposed to let this cool for at least 2 hours. I really didn't have 2 hours to do that, but you can see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm still eating. Oh my gosh, I don't like to eat on camera. I love crusty bread, and I love the fact that it's possible to have this and for it to be gluten-free. I'm thinking avocado toast and BLTs, and I'm loving that you can make a crusty gluten-free bread. Thank you for coming to the Spinach Tiger cooking channel, cooking big fat healthy food. Don't forget to jump over to the blog, spinachtiger.com. I have almost 1,000 recipes, lots of gluten-free baking, Italian food, and just a lot of big fat healthy food. Don't forget to subscribe here. And by the way, I'm on Instagram and I do a lot of backstories. I show the kitchen process, the kitchen fails. I show all kinds of things there. It's really fun. So that's at Spinach Tiger. You want to check me out there, and we'll see you soon.